Hello, and welcome. Basically, what this is it's sort of a let's play, but also not, because I don't want to be sat here saying nothing pretty much about the game. That's what most let's plays do. They're just sort of commenting on things that are coming up. I want to give my opinion on the game and my opinion on just anything in the game that's relatable, that's interesting. I don't want to just sit there pointing out everything that's coming up. So I don't really want it to be a let's play. I'm not going to play the whole game, on record, and I'm certainly going to be cutting bits out because otherwise it'll be boring as hell. Because I don't know what to do sometimes, and that's boring. So basically, that's enough of me jabbering on. I'm using a controller because the sound of the keyboard would be horrible for you guys. Let's just go start. This is Costume Quest. Yeah, that's fine. Delete the old save. So basically, I've played a little bit of this game before. I played the demo when it came out on the Xbox 360, and I really liked it. So the Double Fine sale was on recently, which had loads of really good games. That was a humble bundle, so I picked up that. A few games I had already, like Brutal Legend and Psychonauts, but why not have them on PC? So yeah, that's essentially why I've got this. And yeah, so here's the start of the game. We get to meet our two annoying characters, which is what I love. And the great thing about the characters in this game are, and any Double Fine game, is just that they're not interesting, but they've always got something to say. That's I don't know what I'm trying to say. The exposition is never, oh, we've got to do this and this and this. It's sort of intertwined with the dialogue to make it, more interesting. It's less some guy standing there explaining what's going on, and more, you get little hints as to what's going on through the dialogue, and that's definitely the way to do it. So, who are we picking? Could just not pick either of them and shake my hand left to right. If you do it fast enough, hand disappears like some crazy witch. I guess I'll pick the boy because I'm a boy, and I don't think it changes anything. I think the dialogue switches in the position depending on who you pick, so it doesn't really matter. One thing I really like about this game are the visuals. They're just sort of, they're really delightful, but they've got the old adventure game air to them because the graphics aren't, they're nothing incredibly high tech, but they are nice to look at. The colours are really good and everything contrasts well, especially considering the Halloween theme, all the nice oranges and darks. So let's begin. Trick or treat. And people look so weird, but that's also a good thing about the visuals. That guy definitely, look at his nose, for instance, and his arms. It's just weird, but it's a woman for a start. There you go. But just things like that. You don't have to have incredibly realistic character models for them to be interesting. Lights on in that house. That means somebody's home. Yep, that's generally the way I used to do it when I was trick or treating. Go to the houses with the lights on. And have I got a good feeling about this? That's another thing, sort of realistic dialogue. This is just the kind of things kids would do. They go, oh, this house has got its lights on. This one's interesting. This one might have loads of sweets for us. So, anyway, I'm rambling on. Knock on that door. And that's definitely not a person, as it says. Here's another good thing. The game sort of gets into the swing of things really fast. As you can see, there's already conflict coming up, whereas a lot of games would take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, sort of introducing you to everything and telling you what's going on. Whereas Double Fine have got a really, it's part of what I was talking about earlier when they said the exposition was weaved within the dialogue. They've got a really good way of telling everyone what's going down without physically going, this is what's happening, like a lot of games. Particularly, I think games like Skyrim, where you pick your own dialogue, bits sort of fall apart because it is literally that character telling you exactly what's happening, and it's really boring. Alright, so now we get into the actual gameplay of the game. and this is when you realise it's a turn-based RPG. And this is a really cool element that, you know, the child's imagination takes over and it becomes some kind of mega battle. I think it's a really cool concept. It gives you the ability to have all the crazy powers and stuff you generally get with turn-based RPGs like this, without it being, you know, overly convoluted and stupid. And also, I like the way they've done it, because, well, as you can see, I did it wrong. I got hit a lot more. There's contextual buttons, kind of the way Super Mario RPG introduced. I don't know if it introduced that, but it certainly made it popular, and I think it's a very good way of doing it. You know, it makes things more interesting rather than just waiting for attack and response. Every costume has a special power that charges up during battle, and as you can see, mine is the Missile Barrage, and that we get a nice visual display, which is always one of the best thing about turn-based RPGs, the visuals. And I think that's in the combat and the attacks, I think this is one thing this game definitely doesn't miss out on. I also love how the villains they're not for instance, she said everyone here is dumb and stupid, whereas I think people get overgrandiose with villain dialogue and make them something they're not. They're always sort of old-timey. I don't know why, when, you know, the villain has grown up in the same world you or I have. Maybe this one hasn't, but yeah, I think that's another thing. They don't get stupid with their dialogue. They don't write characters that aren't believable, even villains, which are quite hard to get right. Oh, and Reynolds' Halloween night is ruined. Poor Reynolds. Dickhead. And as you can see, as the game goes on, you get sort of schematics for different costumes, which you can switch between, which not only alter the turn-based RPG moments, but also the moments in the hub world. It allows you to do different things. I guess we might see a bit of that later, depending on how long I play it for. And we've got... Okay, this is a classic Double Fine thing where you get a big book full of information, which is massive. You know, it's far too massive. It's far too big to have a look through at once, so it's nice to go through the journals as you go through the game. And as you can see, bash through here. I don't want to make sure I don't forget anything, and this is why I'm going to be cutting down the footage, because there's going to be a lot of boring bits where I'm walking places I don't need to go, like now. Oh, it's Zelda chest. You found oh, it's not a chest, it's a treasure coffin, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that this video might not have you appreciate is the sound design and the audio. For two reasons. One, I'm speaking over it, which is very obnoxious of me, and the other reason is the software I'm using to record it. For some reason, really bad audio quality. I have to sort that at some point, but yeah, I mean, it's not... Many games, they'll sort of have music constantly going on, and it gets a bit... You get bored of it, essentially, but this is one of those games where music's contextual. It only pops up when something's really happening, and but there's no empty space with the sound. As you can hear, there's sort of, or as you might not be able to hear because I'm rambling on, there's owls and crickets chirping in the background, which just sort of, you know, it layers the game, it makes things more interesting. Oh dear. Hey, what'd you do that, you prick? Another thing I think Double Fine are really good at is making sure you're not getting bored. I mean, for instance, walking around is quite slow in this game, so we had these roller skates, which not only help you get over obstacles like this, but they also speed the movement up, which is very important. I mean, it's hard to go back and play old Pokemon games without the running boots anymore, and it just goes to show that, you know, we've advanced massively in terms of stuff like that. And yeah, and the cutscenes are interwoven nicely with the gameplay. For instance, there's a smooth transmission there between the two, which sort of creates a more believable layer. Oh, and he's crashed. What a dickhead. So now we get, presumably, another party member, which is standard fare. turn-based RPGs. And now we see we can switch between his and my costume, which gives me different abilities. And that's another thing that they've definitely always had a good stranglehold on, is comedy in video games, which is very hard. On the one hand, you get very dry, serious games like Dark Souls, and then there's really crap games like Deadpool. You don't want to see me walking around collecting individual pieces of I don't want to say candy, I'm not American, individual sweets from the ground. How interesting. I just said then I'm not sure what I'm doing, but that's because I initially got to this gate and then it gave me the chance to wander around, and oh no, I've come back here again. Yeah, like I said, it gives you the chance to wander around, but also just to explore and, you know, soak up the world, so to speak. Screw you. Screw your mailbox. You don't get any mail. Not today. No bills for you. No adverts for Tesco's or Argos for you. For the last time, I do not play the harmonica. Yeah, okay. Weird. It's dang. Did the reflection off my glasses give you away? No. It was the fact that you're a moron. More so, Wendell. And there's obviously the classic character in Double Fine games, Abraham Lincoln, shaking his head in front of a ramp. It's a ghost. It's a scary ghost. Oh my god, there's more than one scary ghost. There is at least 2, 3, 4, 5 scary ghosts in my vicinity. I should either leave right now or call the Ghostbusters. And see, for instance, what I was talking about earlier, the way the game sort of distracts you and lets you explore more. I know that I was supposed to go down that gate, which is way down here now, but I've been taken all the way around the street and I found some more quests. And he's supposed to have lit candles in his hair like Blackbeard, but his mom said no. I'm pretty sure it's wicks, not candles. It's a ghost invasion, look. There's 5 of them here. There's 5 of them there. 5 of them everywhere. So it's not a random encounter thing, which leads me to believe it's not going to be possible to grind unless beyond the Black Gate it's that kind of combat, but we'll see. Another thing that's good about this game is sort of the fact that each character and costume is different in the mechanics and stuff like that. I mean, I know that seems obvious for a turn-based RPG. You need a mage, you need a warrior class, stuff like that. But I think this game does it better because they're all interesting. They've all got something to choose from, whereas some characters in Final Fantasy series are too similar to each other. Fucking hell, I got my ass kicked. I suck at the game. Battle stamps from Sadie. Look at that colour, look at that radiating green. It's beautiful. It's beautiful the way it contrasts with the red and the yellow and the black and the orange and the pink and the blue and the, I'm running out of colours, purple and the pink. I think I've said pink. I'll stop now. Or you found me booty. Sadie's battle stamps, this is what I'm looking for, and it's really obviously telegraphed, I don't have to go around looking for what the hell battle stamps are. I know that this is what I'm looking for. See, so we buy upgrades for each character. Now we can apply them to whatever character we want. Sweet, and that's really easy to apply. That was just simple. It's not like the summons tutorial in Final Fantasy VIII or Materia, where you've got to learn different systems. I literally just put the stamps on my character and away I went. It's another thing I think Double Fine excel at, is simplicity. One thing I want to know is why he's putting half-eaten apples in here, the bastard. Bob's going on about sugar being unhealthy for you, and he's making you eat rotten apples with worms in. The fucking school bag sales count on you, you bastards. That was my overview. My first overview of Costume Quest. Whether I'm going to do another episode of this, carry it on, themed around Costume Quest, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a a great game with lots of little elements that will keep you interested for a long time. I mean, Double Fine, you can generally always expect quality, and even if you don't like the game, it's common knowledge that it's probably a good game. So yeah, definitely check Costume Quest out. It's probably really cheap somewhere. I picked it up for, I don't even know, less than £1, I'm sure. Less than £1 English pound, which is, I think, like 70 cents or something like that. So, very cheap game. Don't miss it. Very good. Roller skates. I'll leave you with that. On a side note, sorry about the banging and clattering going on in the video. That's me putting my drink down on the table generally. I'll remember not to do that in the future. Alright, thanks. Bye!